Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching. Today we're back in the shop to do some stuff that we need to get done. So let's get into it and I'll tell you what we're doing. Alright, so like I said, we're back in the garage today. Today what we're going to do is I had bought a brand new third member complete with 456 gears, and we are going to go through that third member and make sure it's built properly. I've watched a couple of videos on YouTube that have had problems with this certain manufacturer, so just want to make sure it's good to go. So let's get into it and let's see what we find. So this is my brand new third member with 456 gears. That's what we're going to try next, and make the decision if I'm going to put it in the car before the next race in a couple weeks. So let me get out of the box and up on the stand and we'll be back. Alright, so here's the new rear end. I'm going to take this nut off, take the pinion out, pull the seal off, and I'm basically going to check the running torque of the pinion and of the ring gear and make sure that they are where they're supposed to be. I watched a video of basically how to rebuild one of these and what to check on. I will put the link down in the description as far as what I watched to check the running torques and to make sure that it's built right. I went on any manufacturer's website, which will give you all the torques to all these nuts and bolts, what the shims are supposed to be at, and all that. So I'll get this top end taken apart and we'll be back. Alright, so I got the yoke off, and I didn't say this before, but this is the yoke that came on this third member. It's the only option I had. This is a 1310 yoke. Well, the car has a 1350 yoke, so I actually had to order a separate 1350 yoke to go on this third member. So what we're going to do next is very carefully pull this seal off, and then we're going to take all these bolts out and pull this pinion out and check the running torque. So we're going to do that next. Okay, so I got it all apart. Here is the seal. It's not damaged. I did not get it out by the screwdriver technique that I saw on the video, so what I did was I used a bearing puller and I pulled all this apart, and then I flipped the housing upside down and then drove this bearing and the seal out, and that worked. So it does have a solid shim. It does look like it has a little bit of oil on it, but it does not have a oil splash shield, which I'm pretty sure they're supposed to have, at least in the video I watched. The guy made a comment about this particular third member not coming with a splash shield, so I'm going to have to call them before I finalize this all back together and make sure that's supposed to have it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble all this back in the housing, put the yoke back on it, and then do a running torque and see if the running torque is where it's supposed to be. So once I get that set up, I will be back. Alright, so I have it all back together, minus the seal that you can't see because of this. So now I've got my dial torque wrench, and I'm going to go put this in my vise and see what the running torque is and see if it's in spec. And I'll be back when I'm done with that. Okay, so I checked this thing, and from everything I can find online and what the video said, it's supposed to be like 15 to 20, 10 to 20 inch-pounds of running torque, and this thing is 45 inch-pounds of torque as far as running, so it's about twice what it should be. So now I got to tear it back apart and adjust the shims in between the two bearings, which I don't have any, so we're going to have to order some. So I'm pretty much done with this today because I can't go any farther, but we're going to tear this apart, figure out which way we need to go, which I'm pretty sure I need to add more to get it looser. So that's what we're going to do, and we'll be back. All right, so we are back. It's Wednesday now. I did get the parts I ordered, so I got my new spacer and my new shims. So today I'm going to pull all this back apart. We're going to measure the solid part that we have in here, see if it's the same or different from that one. Then I'm going to measure the shims and see if I can make this work without having to sand down this solid shim. So I did pull up a Ford assembly diagram for a Ford 9-inch. It is supposed to have that splash washer in it. They don't call it a splash washer. That's why I was having a hard time finding it. They call it a oil slinger seal. So I did find some of those, so I did order that. That should be here tomorrow or Friday, I hope. Then I can get all this final assembly put back together and then get it in the car this weekend for the race next weekend. I did call the manufacturer that built this, and I explained to them what my problems were. I told them it wasn't built right. They said they were going to do the right thing and send me the parts I needed to fix it. Now, I didn't know that Saturday when I was working on this, so I did order all the parts. So worst case, I'll just have spares for everything. But I want to try to get this put back together. But just to let everybody know, the manufacturer is sending me a new set of seals or shims. They are sending me a new nut, and they are sending me an oil slinger ring, supposedly. I haven't got it yet, but that's per the phone call I had with them yesterday. They are sending me all that stuff. So like I said, today we're going to take this back apart, measure everything to see if I got what works. If not, I'm going to have to sand this down. So let me get all that figured out, and I will get back with you. All right, so I got this all back apart. I checked. There is no little shims in between here. It was just a solid. So it was just this solid. So the solid measures 610 thousandths of an inch, which isn't enough. So I'm going to have to add one of these other shims. So I've got an 8 thou, 2 10s, like a 14, and an 18. The new shim that I bought, it was only 430 thousandths. So that one's definitely not going to work. So we're going to put this 8 thou shim in here and re-tighten it all back up and recheck the running torque and see what it is with this combination. I'm thinking it's going to be too much. I think I only need a couple thou. So this is 8 thou shim's probably going to be about twice what I need, which if it is, that means I'm going to have to sand this down a little bit to get it to work right. But for now, we're just going to put this combination back together and see if it works, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I got it all put back together with the 8 thou shim in there, and it's way too loose. I mean, there's no rolling resistance at all. So I added 8. So I'm probably going to have to sand like 4 thou off that solid shim to get it to work right, because an 8 thou shim is the smallest one I have. So now I got to do the hard part of sanding down that shim. So I'm going to take all this back apart, sand on it. Probably won't get that done today, but that's what I'm going to do. And once I take 4 thou off of that, 4 or 5 thou off of that shim, then I'll be back to let you know what we got. All right, so we're back at it again today. Today's Thursday. You can't really tell, but so I sanded one of these edges down and knocked 4 thousandths off. So we're going to put this back together this morning and see how close we are and see if I got to sand any more off. So I'm going to put all this back together, get it over to the vise and do the running torque on it and see what we got. And I will let you know from there. Okay, so as my luck would have it, I got it all put back together, took it over to the vise, and I still don't have any running torque. It's still loose. So I'm going to have to take another couple thou off that solid spacer. So this is, the process to get this right. So this is what you got to do. So it's a pain. But like I said, if you want things right, it takes a little bit. So I'm going to take all this apart and then start sanding on that solid spacer, see if I can take a couple thou off and see if I have time to put this together one more time today, or I have to wait till tomorrow. And the reason I do that is, well, I only have like 2-3 hours during the day to work on stuff before I got to go to work. So I run out of time. So yeah, so we'll take it apart, sand it, and go from there. Okay, so just to show you guys what I'm talking about. So I've got a piece of 320 sandpaper, and what we're going to do is we're just going to do, circles with this thing, but you just can't do it at the same as what you're holding it. So you do it for a little bit, then you rotate where your position hand is, do it for a little bit more, rotate where your hand position is, and that keeps it as flat as possible. You want to use a flat surface. There's not a whole lot of flat surfaces in my shop that aren't buried with stuff right now, so we're going to use what we got, but just wanted to show you the process. Now, you don't want to do this dry either. Use some kind of oil or lubricant, or something like that. So a machine oil, DI water, something like that works best. So we're going to get the sanding on this, and I'll get back with you when I get another couple thou off. And also, you don't want to just, sand on this thing for 30 minutes and not check it. So check it periodically. I mean, sand for, a couple minutes and then check it. Make sure it's still around. So I've got that done. I've checked it with my calipers. We are the same all the way around it. We've knocked off another, say, thou and a half. So we're going to put this all back together and check it one more time, see if I got to do this again. Like I said, this is a process, so it's a lot of pulling apart and putting together and checking. So like I said, we're down another thou and a half, so we're going to go put all this back together, and I'll report what we find. All right, just to give an update before I'm done for the day. I've had this thing off, I don't know, 5 or 6 more times, sanding on it, the solid shim, trying to get this thing to come into spec. I'm getting closer. I don't want to take too much off at a time because I'm limited on what shims I've got, so I don't want to go too far and have to keep going and adding more shims and stuff. So I've got it up to 10 inch-pounds of running torque. So it's getting there. So we'll pick back up tomorrow, and hopefully I've got my splash shield so we can add that in there to make sure that it's not going to throw anything off wonky. But we're getting closer, so we'll pick back up tomorrow with this and see where we can get. Okay, well, we finally got the shim where I need it to be. I've got about 17 inch-pounds running torque, so that's what I'm going to go with. That's in between 15 and 20, and in between 14 and 16 that I've been seeing everywhere else for the pinion running torque. So we're going to go with that. I ended up only adding final dimension about 0.02 to it to get it to come in right. So I don't know if the bearings broke in a little bit or something was holding it together originally, but I only added 2 thou to it to get it to spin right. So it is what it is. We're there. So we're going to make sure we're going to take the pinion out, clean everything up inside, since I've been kind of using this as a workbench. Get everything cleaned up, re-lube everything, and then put this together for the last time, and then this thing will be ready to go in. So we'll be back in a little bit. Okay, I got all that cleaned up. I got the bearing lubed up real good, and you can kind of see the oil in there. Use like a 10 weight machine oil or rear end grease. That'll do it as well. I did get the front pinion housing put back together. So before you drive this seal on, make sure you put the bearing in there. Make sure that spring is still in the bottom side of this, and don't forget your splash washer. That'll kind of be important because you won't be able to get it in. So like I said, I did get it yesterday. There's the part number for the one I ordered. I'm still waiting for the manufacturer to get back with me. I've been dealing with them all week on hold to get these parts that they didn't put in here. They're still saying they're supposedly sending them to me. I just haven't got them yet. And like I said, I wanted to get this rear end done before the weekend, so I can get this put back in the car tomorrow, or get this put in the car tomorrow for my race next weekend. So we're gonna go ahead and finish putting this together, and then I'll be back when I get that done. Okay, so there you have it. So we got it all put back together. Everything's torqued up. One side note, make sure you put the shims in between the two bearings. I almost forgot. So make sure those are in. Make sure you use a new nut. That's what's recommended by Ford. So everything's torqued up. Everything's ready to go. So finally got this thing done. It took a few days and a lot of sanding, but it's done. So tomorrow, Saturday, and we'll start taking the race car rear end apart, pulling the third member out of it, and putting this set in, and we'll be ready to go for the race next week. So we'll see everybody tomorrow, pulling this rear end apart in the car. Hey everybody, I just wanted to give you guys a quick update from the manufacturer. So they did send me parts. I got a new nut and a new solid shim stack. It did take me being on the phone with them almost every day for a week to get it for them to send it out, but they did send it. I talked to the shop supervisor, and I was told basically that they do not put that splash shield or oil slinger seal in any of their rear ends that they build. So the one that I ordered outside is, well, they ain't gonna send me one because they don't have it and they don't use it. So I just wanted to give an update. They did send me the parts that they promised they'd send me, except that one seal. But like I said, it's already in the car and already working, so these will just go on the shelf till the next time I need them. So just wanted to give an update. But that's going to do it for this time in the garage. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching this video. Hope everybody took away a little bit of something anyway. So if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, please hit that thumbs up. Pass it along to friends, family. It always helps get the channel out there.